Hello and welcome. Hi, my name is Philip Zerillo and I'm the Deputy Dean here at the Indian School of Business. I'm also a professor of marketing here at the School of Business. And you know, these are going to be some very difficult times ahead for all of us here in India and around the world. And having a career that has now spanned over 30 years, I can tell you I've been through a few recessions and I've been through a few of these chaotic events. And you know, when I look at the chaos and I look at these dips or I look at these slumps, they're often a time of great peril, a time of great calamity, but they're also a time of great opportunity. So what I want to do today is I want to talk to you about, first of all, 3 views on marketing, and then what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about 3 potential tips for your marketing department. So the first thing that I would like to do is talk about the views on marketing. So the first is that very often the finance team begins to rear its head within your organization. They say, look, we're going into a slump. Things are going to be difficult. We're running out of cash. Our customers aren't buying. And what they do is they embark upon a cost-cutting project. So what they are constantly trying to do is hammer down expenses in the organization. And they look at marketing as yet another expense in the organization. They look at sales force, they look at advertising, they look at promotional expenses as an expense that needs to be managed. Not as a weapon in your arsenal, enabling you to distance yourself from the competition, to separate yourself from the herd, and to succeed even though times may be difficult. The second group looks at marketing and they say, wow, here's an opportunity. This is a time for us to connect. The world has gone deaf. Other people are not spending money on their promotion. They're cutting their sales force. They're cutting their expenses. They're not servicing the way that they normally would. And what happens is they forget about the customer and they forget about the marketplace. They're trying so hard to cut their expenses, but other firms look at this and say, this is when we can really rise to the top. So they look at Market Connect and say, nobody else is advertising, why don't we? Nobody else is servicing the customer, why don't we? Nobody else is taking care of the customer's demands, why don't we go that extra mile now and show our commitment to the market? And the third view on marketing is that this is the true opportunity. So it's that group of people that realizes that second point, that the world has gone deaf, the world has gone dead, nobody else is reaching out, that says this is our time. This is when we can remake the world, we can remake our marketplace, and instead of being market driven, we can drive the market. Now, those are the 3 views of marketing. Now let's talk for just a second about some of the things that we need to be able to do, or the 3 tips that I would give you for your marketing department. So the first is that, look, it never goes out of fashion to know your customer. In a time like this, your customer is somebody that you need to reach out to. They're having a very difficult time in their business and they have problems. And this is when they would love to hear from you. When your customer has problems, don't call them up and tell them I've got something I need you to buy or try to sell them something. Call them up at this time and say, hey, look, I'm here. Do you need anything? Is there any way I can help? What can we do? Okay, very often you'll hear in the other side a voice of gratitude, of thanks, in which this is a time in which your relationship is being forged. It's when people are having a difficult time and you take the time to call and to call upon your customers and give them an opportunity to tell you what's wrong and see if there's something you can do. This is when you really have an opportunity to reshape that relationship. Secondly, or the second thing that one can do, or the second tip that I would give you, is that to know your customer. Now is the time when you really need to know your customer better. Okay, your customer has ways in which they like to buy products, but you might ask them, do you need it differently now? Do you need longer payment terms? Is it the sort of thing that instead of paying for it and having it be a large capital expense because you have to pay the whole shot or the whole fee, can we finance it? Can we break it into monthly or quarterly payments? Can we take the same product and assist you with your budget by making it in smaller bite sizes in terms of the financial arrangements between yourselves? So look at your customer and ask yourselves, how can I help them? Okay, how can I help them by delivering more frequently? Maybe they don't have to stock as much inventory then. And if it isn't expensive for me, or I don't have high logistics costs doing that, maybe what I do is I just show up and I deliver more frequently so that they don't have to have as much of their capital tied up in inventory. We also, as I said, we can look at terms, we can look at financing, we can look at, maybe we can take on some of these selling expenses for you. Maybe you have excess staff during this time period. You don't want to cut your staff, but what you do is you say to the downstream customer, some of our staff can help you. What we'll do is let our staff work on your retail floors. We'll let our staff work in your warehouses. We'll let our staff work in your sales organization. Whatever it is, we'll go out and make joint sales calls. This is the kind of time when knowing your customer and knowing their problems, you have an opportunity to really distance yourself. And the last thing is that in times like this, the third tip and a key tip is you need to execute. Okay, at a time like this, everybody is under stress. Everybody's having a difficult time. This is when you must, and I repeat that, this is when you must deliver on your promise. This is the time when if you fall down, if you're late with your deliveries, if you don't deliver on time, you don't deliver exactly what was needed, you promise that you'll do something but you don't do it, this is when your clients will never, ever forgive you. So think about them. They have problems. As they struggle, as their worlds are chaotic, as they deal with the volatility, the uncertainty that you're dealing with as well, recognize they need a friend, they need a partner. This is your opportunity to move from a product supplier to a differentiator to a trusted advisor to your clients downstream. But they will hold you to a level of execution. And this is where it's very important for you to execute. So look, at this time, when the recession is going on, when there's calamity in the marketplace, when there's a dip, when there's a slump, there's a lot of people that are going to try to explain to you that the marketing department is a superfluous expense. We need to cut back on our advertising, our promotions, our sales force, and they're going to treat all of that as an operating expense. It's been my experience that the firms that spend the most during these recessions or during these dips are the ones that come out of these recessions and dips stronger, faster, and better. So don't look at this as a slump, look at this as an opportunity. You have great things in front of you, and marketing is a tremendous weapon for growth. I can be sure of one thing, is that as a recession continues on, it will not be your finance team that is going to help you to find the growth to get yourself out of the trap of a declining marketplace. Marketing is the engine that helps you to grow. If you need growth, if you need scale, if you need the opportunity to raise your top line in order to be able to make your monthly expenses, it's going to be the marketing team that's going to have to help you to get there. So that's just a small tip as you struggle through this time period. Don't fear and just keep working hard. And all of you, please do stay safe, stay healthy, and we look forward to seeing you here at the Indian School of Business. Thank you.